When you get book reviews, you're probably elated. You're probably saying, yes, about time. I heard some people say I've got to get a certain number of reviews in order to be successful. But then some people just kind of walk away. It's almost like they did all the work, they got the reviews, and then just let it sit. But believe it or not, you've got gold in them dar hills. And in order to really capitalize on these reviews, there's some things you need to be doing with it. So we're going to talk about that in today's podcast. Make sure you stay tuned. What's happening? It's Dale here, and I'm just tickled to death. You took a little bit of time out your day to spend a little bit of time with me to talk about my favorite thing in self-publishing books. Today's podcast is exclusively sponsored by the fine folks over at winningwriters.com. It is the 7th annual North Street Book Prize and the second time that I've worked with them to promote this because it's a great contest. Enter for a chance to win up to $5,000 in cash and prizes and marketing opportunities. And also, guess what? There's 6 categories, 6 specific categories you can go ahead and enroll your book into for the North Street Book Prize. And first place gets $1,000 for each of those 6 categories. This is good for all self-published books, regardless of their release date. Yeah, if you did it yesterday, awesome. You did it 3 years ago, fantastic. They'll take it for sure. Hey, look, folks, they're recommended by Ally, the Alliance of Independent Authors. Additionally, Winning Writers has an excellent rating as an Ally partner. So, what if it's not a good fit? What if you go ahead and you put your book on up there and they don't have anything right? Well, first of all, they'll just refund it if it's not a good fit. But the nice thing that they've done this year is they've had some judges that if they see something that could have been better categorized, they'll move your book over there. So it really increases your likelihood of winning the contest. That part is pretty awesome. Folks, without any further bloviating, go ahead and visit our sponsors link at winningwriters.com/Dale21. Again, that's winningwriters.com/Dale21. Okay, we know the value of reviews, of the social proof. But let's just go ahead and circle back around to this. Because nothing attracts a crowd like a crowd. Everybody likes to share their experience and also see that people are sharing the experience. So in order to actually get more sales of your books, you're going to need to have a few reviews. Otherwise, people are going to look at this and go, well, I don't know. Nobody says it's good. Nobody says it's bad. I don't know if I should take a look at this. So we know the value now. You go out. This is the normal review gathering process, is what I would call it. The normal review gathering process would be, of course, before you go and launch your book, you're going to build an advanced reader copy team. Essentially, when your book launches, they'll leave reviews for your book, and it just starts to grease the wheels. So you get more people that haven't read your book more enticed to purchase that book. Okay, so you did the launch. Probably the next place you're going to go to some different review sites. Maybe you approach bloggers, video creators, and influencers. Maybe you just sit back, put your hands behind your head and just relax, kick up your legs. Maybe have a margarita on the side and just collect organic reviews. Just let the reviews kind of come in, which I hope that's not the only thing you're doing. And then sometimes you repeat. And I'm saying that as I'm scratching my head because here's a hot tip here, folks. You can get way more mileage out of every single review than you know. And that's why I'm just going to give you 5 ways to repurpose your reviews. Now, let's get this right out the gate. I'm going to take care of this because I know some of you are going to say, but hang on a second. I heard you can't take a review from Amazon and use it elsewhere. There's something that's called fair use, folks. Regardless of where you got your review at, you should be able to put a small snippet in there without creating any type of issues. Now, granted, the fair use doctrine doesn't cover everything. And if for some reason Amazon gets a little bit snippy, they'll come over and they'll let you know. But I don't think you're going to get arrested or fined big amounts of money based on the fact that it's related to your product and it's going to sell more of your product. And I think at the end of the day, Amazon wants you to sell more products because they make more money and you get to make more money and everybody's happy. So I wanted to get that one right out the gate. The very first tip I'm going to give you here for repurposing your reviews Very first one, Author Central. If you do not have an Author Central profile set up, I highly recommend it. Go to dalelinks.com/Author Central to see an entire video series where I walk you through all the ins and outs, and part of that process is the editorial review section. Now, not to be confused, this is something that I messed up when I first started in the business. I would go in and I'd get the same reviews that I had on Amazon. I just kind of clip a couple things and I throw it into the editorial review section. That just gets messy and it's redundant. The editorial review section is for any reviews that couldn't make it onto Amazon's platform, whether they purchased it elsewhere or you got it through an editorial review team or you got it through a blogger. That's what that area is for. So if someone can't post directly to Amazon, then the editorial review section is where you should be tapping into it. This is available for paperback and print versions. US only so far. I know some of you are like, oh, come on. Keep in mind, Amazon Author Central most recently switched to the new dashboard over the past year. So I imagine as the dust starts to settle, they're going to spread out, allowing editorial sections in every single region. Hang in there. There was a lot of work that they put into Amazon Author Central because I had beta access to it 3 years ago. It was a long while ago. And for the longest time, I said, when are you going to launch this? And they're like, oh, we'll let you know. And then they finally launched it. It's a great feature. Okay, so you've got the editorial review section. Now you're probably saying, okay, I'm just going to go ahead and copy and paste. Now, first of all, you get your review, find the juiciest tidbit, something that someone can read at a quick glance. You don't want to have the entire review that's, say, 3 pages long. No, something simple, something that would summarize your book or get it to where someone goes, huh, I'm going to check this out. Next, go to Kindlepreneur's website for their book description generator. Not to be confused, we're not making a book description here. We're actually going to use their other tool that's meant for Author Central editorial reviews. And it'll get it to where it formats it into HTML, hyperlink text markup language or something like that. Either way, it's a lot of coding that if you don't know it, it's going to get kind of confusing. So that's why I just go over to Kindlepreneur's site, dalelinks.com/HTML, by the way, or you can just search up Kindlepreneur book description generator and it'll go ahead and hook you on up. All right. So we've got it inside the editorial review section. You got to at least do that as a minimum. Let's take the next two. I'm going to kind of do a two-for deal on this one here. We're going to start out with the front matter. The front matter of your book, you need to be slipping into your right around, like, say, before your introduction, possibly right after your title page, before your copyright page. Put in like a 1-page insert of some of the best quotes where you might have gotten it. Now, this is going to require some work. So if you've already published your paperback or your ebook, you're probably saying, you mean I got to take that thing down and insert another one? Yes. But here's the nice thing is when people do the look inside feature over on Amazon or elsewhere, they're going to see those quotes automatically. Oh my gosh. Siskel and Ebert gave it 2 thumbs up and said this was the best werebear shapeshifter book in a long time. I know Siskel and Ebert's no more, but you get what I mean. You want to just really take that time to hook potential readers. Take advantage of the fact that people are going to be sampling your work. And the best way to do this is going to be, of course, put it right at the front. So I said there was a 2-for deal. Naturally, I said front matter. We're going to talk about back matter. Everything that comes after the end or the conclusion. That back matter is where you need to be loading up more quotes. Now, you're probably saying, someone just finished the book. Why would I be putting quotes in there about the book they just read? No, you're not going to do that. You're going to do quotes from other books that you have inside your backlog. Now, if you only have one book, please disregard. But remember, as you start to publish out, you'll want to double back around and get it to where you get the back matter loaded up and entice readers to purchase the book. And this, of course, will be a great opportunity for you to go 3 to 4 good quotes, put an image of your book, some quick copy on there, and a simple link that will send them over to the store in which you want to send them. All right, so we got the front matter. We got the back matter. what comes next after this? Email marketing. I know. Oh gosh, people are losing their minds. They're like, dude, I just don't want to do an email list. Stop making me do an email list. Why do you keep making me do an email list? Email marketing is not dead, folks. If you don't have an email list, I feel sorry for you. You need to take some time and start to build that out, because the problem is, without an email list, you can't take your readers with you. You can't take them anywhere. That's a fact. If you're publishing on Amazon's platform, guess what? They're their readers, not your readers. So getting that email marketing list put together makes a huge difference. So let's say that you build it out. You get 6 subscribers or 6,000 or 6 million. This is what you're going to do. Share the reviews that you're currently getting. And you may want to do it on a regular basis. So if you are familiar with email marketing, you can build out what's called an automation or sequence. And that automation will get it to where someone subscribes to your list, and then they're sent out an email. You don't have to be awake. It just does it for you. All passive. Don't need to worry about anything. On each one of these emails, as you send them out in automation, maybe at the very bottom in your postscript, or even during the email itself, mention one of your reviews. Put a link to that review so that way people can click it and read the entire thing. It'll drive them on over to your product page. Now, here's where it gets fun. We've got good reviews and we've got bad reviews. And it's going to happen. If you don't have bad reviews yet, hang in there. Because once you start getting successful, I promise you, you're going to get some of the weirdest and wildest trolls getting into your 1-star and 2-star feed. But hang in there. That's okay, because now we're just going to make some lemonade out of lemons. Even though someone's going to punch down your book and say it's completely terrible, you have an army ready to work with you. So you remember those email subscribers? Remember those devoted readers, the ones that built enough know, like, and trust factor in you that they parted ways with their email. It's a coveted thing. You know, and I'm not willing to give out my email to just about any Tom, Dick, or Harry. When I give out an email, it's because I'm really that invested in the person. So you can imagine when I would probably get a notification that says 1-star review, it was possibly the most stilted conversation in this Werebear Shapeshifter romance book. I would share that with the people that are subscribed to my email list. Send them on over towards that direction. Here's the really cool thing. They're going to go, oh no, hang on, hold my beer. Hold my beer, because I am not going to let one of my favorite writers be beat down by 1-star reviews. And so what ends up happening is they're going to go over, they're going to post in a better review. So it's the funniest thing. It's almost like they know that they're missing out on something. So you have on one instance where they should obviously be leaving the reviews, but sometimes they're like, takes time, energy, attention, maybe even reading the book. But having that review and sharing it this way gets it to where they're like, no, I won't stand for this, and this is exactly what I'm going to do. Conversely speaking, you can put the good reviews in there as well and just have a simple call to action. Do you agree with this review? Send them on over towards that direction so they have the opportunity to purchase your book. All right, I've got one final tip. This is the best one, and it's the easiest one for a lot of you out there. But I do want to thank our sponsors of today's podcast. That is the North Street Book Prize, the 7th annual version of this one. The deadline, folks, is June 30th, 2021. Get on top of that. You could possibly win up to $5,000 in cash and prizes in marketing. Oh my, go to winningwriters.com/Dale21 today. So that way you can go ahead and put your book into the contest and come back later on and thank me for it. Okay, so we've got one last thing when it comes to 5 ways to repurpose your reviews. Now, it's not just limited to this one. You can, honestly, if you're a writer and you're listening to this, you're probably a creative individual. You could probably think of other ways that you can do this, and I definitely would love to hear if you thought of something completely different. We talked about Author Essentials editorial section, the front matter and the back matter. We even mentioned email marketing. The natural next progression is share it on your website. If you've got a website, you got a blog of some sort, be sure to share that. It could probably be on a bookshelf, on your about section, or even on your home page. Get it to where it has a clickable link that'll send people over to purchase your book or even leave another review, which is big deal. Awesome. So get that devoted page on your website. Should be relatively simple. Honestly, if you don't know the process of building out a good website, reach out to a professional. I always can recommend Author Brand Kits. They're fantastic for doing that. Quite a few other services, I'm sure, right off the top of my head. I've just, at this point, just get a page put up. You're going to include the brief quotes from the review. Remember, fair use. Keep it short. Keep it simple. So that way you're not having some people coming over and trying to shut you down or giving you a DMCA or something else like that. And the bottom line is this, folks. Use reviews as marketing collateral, a way to market your book and generate more interest. So that way people come in and they buy more copies of your book. Hey, as we're wrapping up today's podcast, I know it's a little bit shorter than normal. It'd mean the world to me if you subscribe or followed on your preferred podcasting platform and leave a review, or if you're watching on the YouTube podcast channel, you can just drop me a comment. I definitely would love to hear from you. In the coming week, we've got a barn burner of an episode. Looking forward to it. We're going to talk about getting ISBNs for your book and the things you should not be doing when you get an international standard book number. So you want to make sure you stay tuned to next week's episode 113, where we're going to go in depth, and I'm going to blow your mind on some things when it comes to ISBNs. You're going to be pretty surprised about it. Till then, this has been Self-Publishing with Dale, and I will chat with you next week.